Are you now or have you ever been a first-time homebuyer? Well, if so, you'll be familiar with the CMHC. Now, CMHC is a government agency. It stands for the Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation. And basically, it insures mortgages. In Canada, if you don't have 20% down on the cost of a new home, you must get insurance to back up your mortgage. And so the CMHC provides that service. And the premiums for that policy get added on to your mortgage and increase your monthly payment. And in return, hardworking Canadians are able to purchase homes with less than 20% down. So far, so good. But what happens when the CMHC collects far more money in premiums than it has to pay out in claims? What happens to the money then? Well, you might be surprised to find out. Take a look.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. And I have a few questions for, I believe it's Ms. Bowers from CMHC. What would you say is the largest demographic in terms of income of Canadians who use the mortgage insurance that CMHC provides?
Thank you very much, Madam Chair, for that question. With respect to our mortgage insurance business for homeowners, the largest demographic would be first-time home buyers.
First-time
would be, yes, that's right. So again, there's a range in ages, but I would say in the low 30s to mid 30s.
Okay. And in terms of income, would you say that it skews towards the the lower and middle brackets, that wealthier Canadians, wealthier first-time home buyers who can afford to put down more than 20%, therefore don't require the products that you offer?
Thank you again, Madam Chair, for that question. With respect to our mortgage insurance business, it is for high ratio mortgages. So by law in Canada, you have to purchase mortgage insurance when you don't have the 20% down payment.
Okay. So for first-time home buyers who can't afford to put more than 20% down on the mortgage, those are the people who pay CMHC premiums. Now, Canada Mortgage and Housing and Insurance, you fund housing programs and various social benefit programs within your own agency. Is that correct? You manage and fund your own programs?
Thank you again for that question, Madam Chair. Within Canada Mortgage Housing Corporation, we are Canada's national housing agency, and we have a variety of programs that support Canadians across the housing continuum. So with respect to our commercial businesses that Mr. Scheer mentioned, we consider those as commercial businesses where we generate revenue to self-sustain those programs. With respect to our affordable housing programs that support Canadians who are of lower income and perhaps more vulnerable, those are the programs that received appropriations from the Government of Canada.
Okay. This year, on March 31st, the Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation, CMHC, announced a special dividend payment of $3.5 billion to the Government of Canada. So that is a transfer from CMHC directly to the Government of Canada. That means that those first-time home buyers, low and middle income Canadians who can't afford to put more than 20% down on their mortgage, their premiums went to pay a $3.5 billion dividend to the government. Is that correct?
Again, thank you again for that question. It is correct that in March of this year, we did issue a special dividend. The circumstances for that dividend were quite unique. Typically, we issue dividends on a quarterly basis, as do many commercial entities, based on the revenues that we earn from our commercial businesses. With the onset of COVID over a year and a half ago, we suspended our dividend because of the uncertainty of the economic conditions so that we could preserve capital in the event of unforeseen circumstances. And the reason why, and during this period, our revenues accumulated and our capital levels accumulated as well. We chose to issue a dividend as economic conditions became better with the alleviation of some of the COVID pressures. And that's the reason why the dividend was a large amount.
Okay, so it says here on CMHC's website that quarterly dividend is $250 million. So that's about $1 billion. Well, it's exactly $1 billion a year if it's $250 million a quarter. That's off the backs of premium payers. That's that special dividend that goes into the government's coffers is directly on the backs of low and middle income Canadians, and as you just mentioned, first-time homebuyers. So the federal government has kind of scooped up the profits made on the backs of hardworking first-time homebuyers. Is that correct?
Thank you again for that question, Madam Chair. It is correct that we pay about $250 million in dividends on a quarterly basis, and that's a result of the risk-based premiums that we charge for our mortgage insurance and securitization businesses. That's aligned with the mandate that we have to support financial stability as part of the National Housing Act, and we are also bound by the dividend framework that is that implicates all financial crowns, and we make an effort to make sure that any excess capital or revenue that we earn is returned to our stakeholder, the Government of Canada.
So there you have it. Who pays CMHC premiums? Well, any Canadian who can't afford a 20% down payment on the purchase of a new home. And what happens when the CMHC collects more money in premiums than they pay out in claims? Well, Justin Trudeau takes it, $3 billion this year. And this wasn't the first time. In 2017, Justin Trudeau's government took $4 billion out of the CMHC. So just one more example of Justin Trudeau paying for his reckless spending on the backs of hardworking Canadians.